Hey, yo, family, what a day. God, my office is so messy. But what a day. Y'all ain't here about my office. Y'all here to talk about the fact that the New York Knicks got a new president. We're here to talk about the fact that the Marcus Morris deal was really good. Then it was all right. To then it was just we made a deal. It's been a crazy day. Crazy. Let's talk about everything that happened today. What's going on, CK Cruz? Your boy CK2K here, and welcome back to another video. Guys, I appreciate you guys being so patient with your boy. I have been having so many issues, and I don't want to talk about them. I've talked about them enough in the other videos, but I'm glad to be here. I had such a great video for the Steve Mills firing, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Things happen. It doesn't matter. We're here today. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video, people. My share. It's on a new one today. You hear that? So today or yesterday was known as the trade deadline, where the day where we were hoping to finally see a bunch of contracts on our team be shipped off somewhere else. The main contract that we knew was going to be or had to be moved was Marcus Morris. Now, before I get into that trade, Marcus Morris did so much more for this team than I think he realized he did. Now, we know what he did on the court. We know what he did for our younger guys on and off the court. But he also was a key part to getting the man that we wanted gone for a long time after being with this organization for damn near 20 years, Steve Mills, fired. Because once it's been broken down, it almost seems as if Steve Mills was against trading Marcus Morris when Perry was like, no, bro, we gotta let him go. And upstairs, James Dolan heard the news and said, all right, enough's enough. You guys were right. I'm letting him go. That's a dramatized version of what it really was. I mean, Steve Stout, who a lot of you guys know is the guy that's rebranding our team, he had a lot to do with speaking up on the fact that James Dolan and Steve Mills together makes the Knicks look very terribly, and he's not wrong. So shout out to Steve Stout. But I'm gonna give Scott Perry some credit too, because I wholeheartedly believe that he's part of the reason why Steve Mills is no longer with us. He's alive though. I'm not saying he's dead. So yeah, Steve Mills was let go, and that meant that Scott Perry was saved, and he got to keep the job as GM, and he was in the driver's seat all the way up until the trade deadline, even when the news broke that the New York Knicks finally got their new president and the guy that's going to move us on into the next generation of New York Knicks. Well, for the time being.
And the Knicks plan to hire CAA agent Leon Rose as their new president of basketball operations. Rose has been one of the prominent player agents in the NBA.
Because all the rumors were pointing towards us going all in on Masai Ujiri. And as much as I wanted that, as much as you can hear the Max Kellermans and any writer that you read or hear online say that it's as easy as us throwing money at Masai Ujiri and he would be sure to come, I can guarantee it's not that easy. It's definitely something that could have been done, but Ujiri has 2 more years left on his contract. There's so many bumps and bruises to make that work. I'm almost commending James Dolan. I mean, I know people say that we probably didn't have to do it this fast. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I also don't agree with the fact that us waiting on a guy like Masai Ujiri is the right move. Now, then there's also the other party who were thinking like, what about the Sam Prestes? What about Daryl Morey, so on and so forth. There's so many other guys that are more credible that we could have gone with rather than going the agent route. Now, this isn't just any agent. This dude was he was the creme de la creme. So now he's our president, and there's a lot of things that come with this. Now, there's the camp that are talking about, you know, the fact that we let somebody from CAA in. He's not coming alone. He is going to be having Worldwide West, aka William Wesley, come and work with him. If you guys don't know who he is, he's been the right-hand man of Leon Rose for all the years that Leon Rose has been running his agency, or has been an agent within CAA, and he's a huge part to bringing in a lot of the guys like LeBron James, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and all the way now to names like Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, Kyle Kuzma. Like, he's been his right-hand man in making a lot of these deals. And to be honest with you, as much as I don't listen to ESPN, nor do I care about a lot of things they said, Stephen A. Smith did make a very good point. And I know, take anything Stephen A. Smith says, take it with a grain of salt. This is a message from Chris, to you. He did say one thing that was something that was in my mind because it's very similar to the Rob Pelinka situation.
Now, I love Wes. I've known Wes for over 25 years. I got love for both of them. There's a whole bunch of people who don't, who are in NBA circles, who have players, and how much is that going to factor into the equation? More
times than not, these other GMs and presidents will remember you because of the moves you made, especially contractually
Perfect.
With some of their players. They're going to remember these things, like when these guys were trying to get the most amount of money for their client, but also robbing certain organizations in the process. So those teams might not want to make trades with Leon Rose.
Perfect.
So those are kind of things that could be a little fearful when you have this new age of having an agent run your organization as the president. But the more I thought about it, and yes, and we can go down the rabbit hole of, Leon Rose had big parts in the Knicks manufacturing a trade for Andrea Bargnani. They had big parts in the Carmelo Anthony deal, the Eddie Curry deal. Like, we can go down that rabbit hole, sure, 100%. But how much of that is actually Leon Rose's fault for us signing on or us making trades for his clients than it is for the GM at the time being bamboozled into the deals we made? You know what I'm saying? So I get the fear and I get the skepticism with it when it comes to Leon Rose, but to me, I feel a little optimistic about this move. I might be a little crazy. Because I do get the negatives and I do get the worry when it comes to Leon Rose and William Wesley coming in here, but I'm also a little optimistic about it, that this might be the power move that we need going forward. And especially with a guy like Steve Stout, that a lot of rumors or a lot of reports are coming out saying that he's almost as active in these moves as an owner would be. And I'm liking all this. I mean, just 3 videos ago, I had just said that be on the lookout for Steve Stout because he is a bigger voice than a lot of us expect, especially when it comes to this rebranding. I just said that a few videos ago. So right now, our front office is looking like it is run by James Dolan, as we expect, also with a little whisper from Steve Stout for now as he's doing his rebranding. President is Leon Rose, along with his boy Worldwide West, aka William Wesley, and then our GM for now is still my guy Scott Perry. And the reports are coming out that there's a big possibility that when the season's up, Scott Perry will be moved, as well as the coaching search will begin, as you'd expect. But as of right now, going to the trade deadline, Scott Perry had the phones and had the keys the entire way. Now, mind you, was it the best trade deadline? No, but it wasn't terrible because we still managed to move our greatest asset and turn it into other pieces. If you were to tell me that we were going to turn a 1-year rental into a first round pick and a possible glue guy that can play with us long term, I wouldn't have believed you. Mind you, the initial deal that had everyone else going crazy, bringing in, I don't even want to talk about it, but bringing in 2 younger prospects, as well as having that same pick and the second round pick from the future and Moe Harkless, that was a big steep steal, in my opinion, from the Clippers, but that fell through. We also know that we were in a tug of war between the Clippers and the Lakers, but I'm not one of you guys or one of a lot of people that wanted Kyle Kuzma. I wasn't against it either. I think Kyle Kuzma would have been a great talent. He's a young piece that's going to develop. To me, that's a positive. The trade that I was all for was Danny Green for Marcus Morris, but of course the Lakers then realized that they wanted to keep him, and they figured that Kuzma's way too valuable, so then they started bringing in names like Mitchell Robinson, and as I'd expect, Scott Perry humped the phone and he worked out a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers that ended up being a 3-way deal. But all that being said, guys like Bobby Portis, actually right now it's halftime and I'm doing this and the game is going on right now. Knicks are up, they're playing a great first half. No post game tonight, apologize. Or no post game today, apologize. But guys like Bobby Portis, Alonzo Trier, Dennis Smith Jr., Wayne Ellington, and even in some of you guys' minds, Elfrid Payton, those kind of guys are still on the roster. They weren't moved at all. And then reports came out later that it's not that it was at the lack of trying. Scott Perry was trying a lot of ways, but he was really trying to sell dirt when a lot of these other GMs knew what they were actually getting from some of these guys. So Bobby Portis pretty much wasn't getting a lot of touches. They didn't say the names, but pretty much guys like Dennis Smith Jr. and Alonzo Trier as of right now weren't getting a lot of buzz. So they weren't able to move the players the way that we were hoping that we would be able to move them. So what does this all mean for us in the grand scheme of things? Chris, you're just doing a lot of talking, but what does this mean for us? What it means for us is hopefully now that the trade deadline has come and gone, that and as well as the new regime has been put to place, this means that we're hopefully going to see a different brand of the New York Knicks in the second half. I mean, already in this game that I'm watching right now against the Orlando Magic, we have a starting lineup of Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina. For right now, it's going to be Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. But eventually, I'm sure RJ Barrett then swoops in, takes that Reggie Bullock spot, and then we see a lineup of something different. We're seeing a different lineup. And to be frank, no pun intended, it's working. With the lineup of having Elfrid Payton and Frank as the backcourt, they're doing a great job suffocating the other team. Hell, Elfrid Payton at this point, I don't know where he ends with. Again, this is all recorded beforehand, so maybe editing Chris can add things here. As of this point, Elfrid Payton has 5 steals in the first half, or had 5 steals in the first half. You know, so we're gonna probably get to see more of these fun young lineups and see more of these different renditions of the New York Knicks for the second half, and that could possibly be a good thing. I mean, hell, we're not too far out of the playoffs. I'm not gonna say we are a playoff team, but that's nice to see, you know. And with the new draft rules, there's no need for tanking in this day and age, because we saw what happened in the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Phoenix Suns last year. So you can have the worst record and still end up with a 4, 5, 6 pick. If we go in there as the 7th worst team, we can end up with the first pick, a la New Orleans Pelicans. So I'm not really worried about it. I think just like everybody, we're just more so looking to see our younger guys play and ride it out with young guys. And I think we can agree with that. But I think now we're finally going to see Mike Miller's coaching rather than Mike Miller playing lineups that he's told to play. But that's just my opinion. What's your guys' opinion? How do you guys feel about Leon Rose as our new president? How do you guys feel about the trade deadline moves? I didn't even talk about the other team's moves, but I ain't got time for that. We'll probably talk about that on Coast to Coast. So how do you guys feel about our team's moves? How do you feel about, you know, Steve Mills being gone? There's so many things to go on. I actually want to hear what you guys have to say now, because I did post 2 videos in the past, and I want to know what you guys are thinking about what went on. So it's time for comments of the video. Yes, the long and the favorite series on these videos, comments of the video, is back. All right, once again, I know I said at the top, but shout out to you guys. My last 2 videos weren't the best. They were car recorded because, again, we had problems, but we're here with this now, and let's see what everyone says. Javon Dimitri said, just leave Perry, see how we do. I agree. You guys know how I felt about it. This is exactly the scenario I wanted. I wanted Steve Mills gone with the off chance of us keeping Scott Perry as GM and letting him actually GM the way that he promoted that he was going to be GMing. And I feel like so far we've seen that. We already got draft picks out of a rental piece in Marcus Morris, and that's the thing. Moe Harkless isn't even that old. So Che Berg is my guy. He said, "I was waiting for your post. Was like, we need to hear from CK2K. After all, you spoke this thing into existence, bro. What do you think about hiring from within? How do you feel about Allen Houston getting moved up? Do you think he deserves an opportunity?" And obviously that's talking about the replacement of president, because at the time, this was yesterday, so we didn't have our new president yet. We now know who our president is. But shout out to Che. Yes, this was something I've been preaching since the beginning of the season, and here we are. Unfortunately, we'll see. I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that Perry's gonna be out. We'll see what happens. I'm off my meds and I feel amazing. Shout out to you. You've been in a lot of streams and a lot of videos. Shout out to you, bro. He said, "I'm happy, but I wish Dolan fired him at the beginning of the trade season as opposed to right before the deadline." That's fair. I was okay with it because Scott Perry was probably the one that was deeper in the trades. I mean, there was the rumors about, Steve Mills as well being on the phones with like the D'Angelo Russell stuff with the Warriors and stuff like that. But I honestly wasn't as bothered as Rachel Nichols and all these other people wanted to make it to be. It'd be one thing if we only had a GM and we fired a GM before him. That would be stupid. But the fact that we had a president and a GM, that means we had a lot of eyes and ears on the situation, so it wasn't a big deal. I think it was figured out, but fact of the matter is, Steve Mills is finally let go, and we'll see what's next for the future of the Knicks. A lot of the same, or maybe something different. We'll see. But it's been your boy CK. You guys know what it is. Comment in the comments below so I can pick out 3 comments for the next comment of the video. You guys know what it is. I'm glad that I can be back to recording a regular video. We're 15,300 subs, going strong, on our way to that 16K. You guys are amazing. Appreciate every single one of you guys. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video. I'm out of here. You know what it is. Let's get it. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment. I'm out of here. Peace. I'm gonna go watch the rest of this game. Oh, good. The Knicks let him back in. That's not a surprise.
Feeling like I won the lotto. Always taking trips with a new chick, asking where the time goes. And I wonder if this is all I'll know.